Evan Cooper joins us. Evan, you said when you talked to us during the winter, you remember you met with the media as all the assistants did. You said, I think we have some NFL DBs on the roster, guys that look like the guys I just finished coaching. You're talking about Carolina, of course. Do you see these top end guys, Evan? Do they have that sort of pro mindset and maybe more importantly, that work ethic that you want? You have a pretty experienced room, right?
Right. Yeah.
What do you see
Yeah.
from those guys?
Yeah, no, I see it. I see it. And like I said before, we are not the finished product yet, but we're working towards it. And, just that mindset every day to come in and attack and just try to be great. I think that's actually like the mindset of the entire room, collectively, we all attack things. So that's just what I'm trying to instill. And those guys are helping me carry that load and, relay the message.
Okay.
Evan, we've been able to follow you on the recruiting trail now and kind of watch what you've done, and you really go after speed. And you moved one of the fastest guys on the roster back to the secondary. Tommy Hill, Coach Rule addressed that a couple of weeks ago. Kind of what went into that decision for you to say, you know what, we're going to give Tommy Hill a chance back in the secondary. He started out there obviously as a black shirt to begin his Husker career, and then moved away from that to go over to the receiver position.
Just watching the tape of all the guys, and he was a corner. He played the DB position for first half of the season. And like you said about the speed thing, the combine's coming up. You'll see those guys that go on and have chances at the NFL. Those guys are fast. A lot of them are. So that speed and length is something that you can't really teach. So you want fast players, recruit fast players.
And you see Tommy with speed and length.
Oh, absolutely. Speed, length, toughness, ball skills. He's got a lot of work to do, as do we all. But
you have a very experienced corner in Quentin Newsom, someone who I've interviewed quite a bit. And Quentin makes no bones about his desire to play in the NFL. Now, obviously, there are a lot of ways you can help him and others toward that end. But what's the best way you can help a guy like that at this stage of Quentin Newsom's career?
My approach to Quinn is I've been coaching him like he's already in the NFL.
Really?
Just fine tuning different things, just recognizing splits, how the receivers are going to try to attack him, how offenses will try to attack the different coverages that we have. Just game planning with him like I would an NFL player. I think he has a skill set. He's got to work on a couple things, some ball skills. He's got to get stronger. But, those things will come.
Coach, obviously we know about the guys that have played for Nebraska on the field. But what about guys that maybe weren't on the field but that could factor in? Have there been a few names that have really kind of flashed to you this winter? And who are some of those guys?
Malcolm has quickly shown me that he's a football player.
Really?
Yeah, Malcolm is one of those guys. You win with those kind of guys. He's scrappy. He's quick. He's athletic. He's tough as nails. You circle those guys. He's done a great job.
Have you seen that on film, or have you seen that in winter conditioning? How have you picked up on that with Malcolm and others?
Yeah, so film is one thing, and then I get to see him live, and I get to coach him, and I get to interact with him and teach him and be around him, and he's A+ in all of those categories. Those guys find a way to win.
We're with Nebraska secondary coach Evan Cooper. Evan, a lot of people ask us what is winter conditioning like? What are those guys doing? Take us into that 8-week session. What is your role? What's an assistant? What can you guys do during that period?
We've just been trying to accelerate the process, trying to get those guys in spring ball shape, mentally and physically. It's a grind. It's mentally a grind as well as physically. So, just putting those guys through tough situations and seeing how they react and just pushing them as hard as they can go, trying to grow their brains, their mentalities, and their bodies. That's all.
But you're down there. Are you down there 4 times a week, 5 times a week? How often are you with your guys during those drills?
Yeah, all the times. Any of the times we condition, we're here, we're watching, doing what we can within the rules. Yes, sir.
Coach, obviously you went through something like this at Baylor, a transition. What's the biggest difference between this transition to maybe the one you walked into from Temple to Baylor?
Probably the amount of players. The amount of players.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of players on the Nebraska football team. So spring ball will be good and competitive. We'll have enough people to get through a couple first, second, third on the depth chart, that kind of stuff. I think these not opposed, not Baylor, not the opposite, but I think these guys want to win and they listen. They want to be exactly what we want them to be. So it's been good.
So it sounds like you've encountered a team with a good attitude or a defense with a good attitude.
Yeah, I would say the entire team. I would say our O-line they have a great attitude. They're ready to work everywhere, all over the place. We have a bunch of guys, right? It's spread out, right? We got a bunch of seniors, a bunch of juniors, some young guys, but spread out evenly. But these guys attack it. They do whatever we ask them to do, so it's been good.
I'm curious on Tony White's defense, just how the positions will be defined. Like before, there were kind of the edge guys, the nickels, the corners, the safeties. Will you have true nickels or like a guy like Isaac Gifford? I mean, how do you define guys like that in this scheme under Coach White?
We have DBs. DBs, not necessarily safeties, not necessarily corner. No, we just have guys who can play different spots, and we like to be multiple. So the more you can do, the better.
Now you obviously brought in a guy from the portal, Corey Collier, to play, right?
Yes,
what
sir.
are your early impressions of Corey Collier from Florida?
Corey's ready to work. He's ready to improve. He's got good football savvy. He's a tough kid. He moves well. Football makes sense to him. I've enjoyed my interactions with Corey.
Coach, obviously it's been a recruiting dead period, but you guys can do a lot of things behind the scenes. What we know you've been busy, but how busy will it get in March? And as far as getting guys on campus, how important that's going to be. We know that March 25th weekend's kind of turning into a big one. The spring game will be a big one. What does that look like for you guys right now?
Yeah, I think anytime we can get a guy on campus, that's very important to us. This place, like I said before, it'll sell itself. We're trying to get as many people here as possible. We want to get people to be able to watch our spring game and see how the fans respond to Nebraska football and how welcoming everyone is, people are, and just trying to get as many people on campus as possible. Not a lot of people know what it's like. They don't know how great it is. They don't know the football facilities and the environment. And a lot of people think Lincoln's a small, two stoplight town. And they're very surprised, pleasantly surprised when they come. So we just want to make sure people can come on campus and see us.
You have a lot on your plate. You've only been here 3 months. I understand maybe you can't consider the big picture so much, but a big picture question I always wonder about with a new coaching staff. What do you think can or will ultimately set this program apart?
Yeah, the funny part is I don't even sleep at night. I'm always thinking about the big picture and the small picture, the medium picture. I'm just always thinking.
Yeah.
I think what will set this program apart is the culture. We'll just attack every single day. If you try to project out too far, it can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
The coach says all the time, like both success and failure live in the past. So we just try to stay in the moment and just develop a what's next mentality. Football's won or lost one play at a time. Can't win the game in the first quarter.
How fast will all this come, though? I mean, you open with PJ Fleck at Minnesota, then you go right to Deion Sanders in his first home game. I mean, ready or not, you got to be ready for some pretty big games to get these guys ready for.
Can I be completely honest with you?
Yeah.
I just need to get through today. We just want to get through the mat drills tomorrow. We just want to just take it day by day. And, the football will take care of itself if everything else is in place. So that we just want to do it. I think that's when we get in trouble, when you try to look too far out. So we just attacking it day by day.
Good answer.
That's for us to do.
Right.
You got to admit it's kind of exciting, though. Thursday night opener, Colorado next. But I get you don't want to think too far ahead.
Is that home or away? I got no idea.
It's away.
Yeah, 2 road games.
Yeah.
Oh, do we? Okay.